neurodegenerative and they're going demented. And that's been a bad thing, unfortunately, so I want to just sort of tell you where we are with that whole structural imaging. But this is a review that Kathy Bushnell and I wrote, which many people like and some people really, really hate. And they didn't actually read it carefully, those that hate it. I'd have to say that, obviously, to defend myself. But there's obviously a lot of people who just do not want chronic pain to be a disease in its own right. They fail to engage that. Often it gets into semantic discussions. But if you look at the definition of a disease from the Oxford English Dictionary, that's it. In this review, we just gave the evidence. We actually didn't come down on the side. But, of course, the people who hate us assume that we went down one road. And, again, I won't tell you what my position is on this issue. There is no doubt. There is stacks of evidence that would support that that happens. I mean, so that's just, you're just in denial if you don't think that's the case. Whether you want to and think that, based on a definition you want to reclassify, that's another whole debate with all sorts of issues to come into play. I actually do believe that we should think of it in that way, if you want to know my own view on it. So that's the definition, and you can read the review, which summarises, well, it's 3 years old now, but where we were in terms of, again, these different tools. I'm just pulling out a few studies just to show you, again, evidence in patients using different ways of looking at the chemistry and the structure and the function of the human brain, that the impact of being in chronic pain is that you produce measurable changes which sit under that definition of a disease. Patients, fibromyalgia, just measure how many opioid receptors have they got. Simple question. If you really think that this condition, is just sort of, again, a reporting bias, just look at this data where you see dramatic changes in key structures, cingulate, putamen, nucleus accumbens, insula, areas that are very important for the perceptual encoding of pain. You quantify how many receptors they've got there by using positron emission tomography, and it's not good in these patients. It is statistically and significantly different compared to age and sex matched controls. Moreover, amazingly, you get